Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Zaxtor99. In this video, which I think is going to be a pretty special video, I share with you my own definition of the word love. So when you ask the question, what is love? A lot of people may cringe. A lot of people may not have any idea how to answer that. Because can you truly answer that question with mere words alone? Doesn't love have to be felt inside your heart to truly be understood? Is it even possible to answer that question? Well, I try my best, and I'm no psychologist, but I think I got an answer that could inspire a lot of you out there. And I ask you the same question. What is love? In this video, coming right up. Alright everybody, welcome back. This is Zaxtor99. And when you ask this question, the reason you clicked on this video is because maybe you want to see what my definition for the word love is. Why do you care? Why do you care what somebody's definition for this all-powerful word really is? Because it's important. It's an important part of our lives that we love. Now I'd like to share with you a story, a fantasy story, that to me really defines the word love. Because it does involve words like caring. It does involve words like work. It does involve words like, the ability to put yourself in their shoes and show compassion, and also to let them know that they're appreciated and that you're proud of them, and that mainly nothing can happen that's going to make you go astray. And so what I'd like to share with you now is a story that I think can pretty clearly define the word love in and of itself. Now this story is a story that I believed very early in my life was a clear definition of the word love and helped define what love means to me. Now in this story, I'm going to go ahead and describe a very beautiful young lady that she's a teenager now, and maybe she's 18, 19 years old, and we're going to go ahead and call her Sarah for the point of the story. And Sarah has had a boyfriend. We'll call him Hank. And Sarah and Hank have been friends ever since they were young kids. Sarah loves Hank with all of her heart. She's known him for so long. She's grown up through the high school years dating him and holding his hand. And Hank is an ordinary boy. He's got a funny attitude. He's strong-willed, and she likes that about him. She likes that, the way he holds her. She likes the way he tells her what he thinks, the way he can step forward, and the way he can calm her when she's hurt or when she's upset. He has that ability to make her feel peaceful and, talk to her, listen to her when she needs somebody to talk to. And she's always liked that about Hank ever since they were kids. But now she's dated him throughout high school. And she is absolutely, anybody in this high school could tell you she is the queen of the high school. She is the prettiest girl there. And she's just got the perfect hair. Her eyes are like magical, like beacons in the night. They can light up anybody. And if you can imagine a girl just this magnificently pretty, like her face is perfect. She's got the great body and everything like that, but her attitude is cheery as well. But mainly she's just got the most beautiful face, and it's won her lots of awards. And she's already getting offers to be a model in high school because of the pictures that she has posted online. So if we can imagine Sarah being this beautiful, and we can put ourselves in her shoes in this relationship with Hank, we can imagine that Sarah, as she starts to get, you know, 17, 18 years old, and she starts to see all the other guys now hitting on her and complimenting her, and the guys that have, the nerve to come up and say, hey, if you and Hank never work out, I'll be here for you, you know, this kind of thing. So as she starts to see that a lot of other guys are attracted to her physical beauty, she might start wondering if Hank is the same way. Has Hank held on to me because he thinks I'm cute when he was a kid, and now he thinks I'm so pretty? Is that the reason that Hank loves me? Sarah thinks to herself, and she thinks this a lot. She's never dated anybody else, so maybe she doesn't know any better. All she knows is that she loves Hank with all of her heart, and she would do anything for him. But she does have that insecurity, wondering if her boyfriend that she's had all through high school only likes her so much because she is so beautiful. So what happens next is Sarah is going to church one Sunday, like she usually does. And she's late getting there, running late on this particular Sunday morning. Perhaps she had a late night with Hank out the night before on the Saturday night. And she's circling the parking lot for this church, and all the parking spots are filled up. And she's in a hurry to get inside because, there's a special event in the church, and she hates being late, and she hates how, if she comes in late, how everybody turns, and she doesn't like to feel like she's interrupted, a service. So she's in a hurry, and she ends up parking down a street to run into the church. And she's in a hurry. She looks at her watch and sees that it's, 9:58 a.m. She's only got 2 minutes. She needs to hurry. And she doesn't hear any cars, and she darts across the road. And at that time, it's when a drunk driver is speeding through. She doesn't even see or hear him before it's too late. And when the pickup truck bashes into her body gets thrown under the undercarriage of this truck. Her face is slammed down hard on the cement, and the clothing that she wears gets stuck under the undercarriage of the truck while she's facing the pavement. As the truck finally comes to a stop while it was speeding, going 40 miles an hour in the 25 zone, her face is dragged and burned across the asphalt in the pavement in the road. It's bumped, it's bashed, and it's tossed around like a rag doll. And when the truck finally comes to a stop, Sarah's left in a pool of blood. Her face is now stuck to the pavement. The ambulance comes, and they have to basically pry her face, her bloody face, off this gravel. And it's a horrifying moment for her. All she can feel is pain. She's scared to death of what's going to happen next. And when she wakes up in the hospital, after being put to sleep, and after they've done emergency surgeries on her face to try to reform her face and her broken bones inside of her face, she has no idea what to expect. She can feel the scars and the pain even with all the medication that she's been given. And she can see quickly that she has bandages wrapped around her face, just a slit for her eyes so she can see. And she's told by the doctor that she has to wait about a month before they can remove the bandages. Now her boyfriend Hank is there, of course, at the hospital. And he's there every single day, holding her hand, talking to her, trying to cheer her up, trying to make her happy. But inside, Sarah is consumed with fear because she knows that her beautiful face is not going to be the same. There's no way it could be. She can feel the pain in her face, in her cheeks. She can feel the bone structure has been completely changed since this tragic accident. She has to be fed with a straw through a small hole through these bandages. And thinking of how much she loves Hank, she's scared to death. You can imagine how scared she would be at the thought that he would leave her because she's no longer what she's always been to him. And that thought breaks Sarah's heart every single night. As soon as Hank leaves, she completely breaks down. She can feel the tears in her eyes as she thinks how lonely it's going to be, what it's going to be like to live in this world without the boyfriend that she's known for the last 12, 14 years. The same guy that's been there for her so many times. It could be completely horrifying. And this is where the definition of the word love comes in to me. Is the day after these 30 days. You can imagine how long these days might be for Sarah. But the 30 days pass by, and she's sitting on this bed, and it's the day they're finally going to unravel these bandages and see how well the surgery worked. Sarah's super scared of what she's going to look like, how she's going to look mostly to her boyfriend. Is she going to be okay? Is he going to be able to accept her now without the bandages on her head and with whatever her face looks like? You can imagine how scared she would be. And as the nurse starts to slowly unravel the bandages around her head and remove the gauze and reveal what's left of her face, when the last of the bandage comes off, the nurse has to turn her back because even the nurse gets teary-eyed and is crying because of the face that is exposed now. Sarah notices. Sarah can't even look up at her boyfriend Hank. She's scared to death that she's going to see disgust in his eyes. Like, ooh, what's happened to my girl? She can't bear to see that in Hank. And her impatience and her curiosity gets the best of her. And she reaches for a mirror sitting on a nearby table by the bed to look and see what her face looks like. Now, before she grabs that mirror, though, you have to imagine this girl that was once so beautiful sitting on this bed. The last of the bandages removed, and her beautiful face that once was now being completely deformed. The surgeries that they had to do to just try to form her face to where she could still see and eat and breathe. If you can imagine, maybe she doesn't even have much of a nose anymore. It looks like a glob on her nose with two holes in awkward situations. Her eyes aren't even straight. Her eyes are look like they're on two different levels. And her mouth is barely formed. It's twisted and awkward. And the muscles and the skin forming her mouth make it look like her mouth points in a different direction. Like instead of the center, her mouth is pointing off to her left. No, it's hard to imagine that a face being that deformed. But in this story, let's imagine it is. And what was a once magnificently beautiful young lady now looks like a face we might see in a alien or a horror movie as a monster. Now let's imagine, steal the really beautiful pupils of her eyes under this hideous mask that she has, this deformation of her face. Let's imagine those beautiful blue eyes of hers with tears forming on them. You can see the tears flowing out of her eyes now as her boyfriend walks towards her and places his hand quickly on the mirror that she's reaching for. And this, my friends, is where the word love is defined. Now that I've got the story here, Hank can see the difference. Hank doesn't want Sarah to see her face right now, because Hank knows Sarah and he knows that she'll lose it. She knows that if she sees her face like he can see it, she'll absolutely lose control and just go into a sobbing mess of uncontrollable tears. He doesn't want that sadness for his girl. So he stops her from picking up the mirror, and Hank sits down beside her on the bed, and he puts his mouth close to her ear, and he tells her, "Honey, there's nothing in this world that's going to stop me from loving you. To me, you will always be the most beautiful woman to ever walk on this earth. I'm so proud to have you in my life, and I'm always going to be here for you, baby. I love you." And Hank goes in to kiss her as she feels such amazing relief at his calming words. Once again, Hank has calmed her in her greatest fear. And with this, she is able to close her eyelids and anticipate his kiss. Once Hank sees that Sarah, his long-beloved girlfriend, has closed her eyes, he twists his own mouth and contorts his own face, all so that when he kisses her, Sarah feels like it's a more natural kiss. Because if he's to kiss her straight on, she's going to feel the awkwardness of his normal face compared to her deformed, awkward face. So he forms his lips and his face in an awkward position so that when she feels his kiss feels more like all the kisses they've shared before. And this is my definition of the word love. Hank loves Sarah. There's nothing that can change that. It's not based on beauty. It's not based on physical attraction. And as we get older in life and we have these relationships, are we still going to love the person they're with as they change? As their skin becomes wrinkly? If their hair falls out? As their bodies change? Get saggy? As they fail to be able to walk? What does love mean to you? How would you define love? To me, this story here represents what love is. It represents the sacrifice you might have to make to show the other person that you love them, such as in Hank contorting his own face so that she feels more natural when he kisses her. Hank walking forward and stopping her from looking in the mirror, thinking ahead and thinking of her and her feelings before his own. How many of us in that situation would be tempted to walk away, to look for something more desirable, to look for something prettier? It's a huge sacrifice. And that's what love is about. Love is about give and take, sacrifice, and it's not based on looks or physical attraction. It's all a nice bonus, physical attraction and the lust and all that. Sure, it's a nice bonus, it's a nice icing to the cake, but it shouldn't have any part of the definition of the word love itself. You should love somebody just the same when they're 17 and got a nice toned tight body and perfect skin as when they're 65 and their skin is sagging and they're overweight and their hair is falling out. So hopefully this story has helped define maybe what you think of the word love. And I'd love to go ahead and open up the comments down below this video for everybody that watches this video to share in their own words what they think love means. Maybe I've left a huge part of what you feel love means, inside you. Have I left anything out? Does this story not completely define the word love to you? Let me know in the comments below what you think. I'd love to read your comments. I may not reply to all the comments, but I really want to hear the comments of how well this story about Hank and Sarah defines the word love to you. If you agree with me that work is one of the most important words in the definition of love. And maybe with all this, maybe you still believe that love is completely magical and we have no control over it. Like we don't make a choice. It completely happens to us and we wake up one day in love. Whatever it is, let me know what you think. I'd love to read the comments. I think this is going to be a very interesting video, especially if I get some views and comments as well. So please do me a huge favor. Not only rate this video, give me a thumbs up if you like it, but please subscribe. But more importantly, please share this video with everybody that you think may enjoy hearing my definition of the word love and may enjoy sharing their thoughts as well. Let's get this video passed around. Feel free to share it on your Facebook accounts. Feel free to share it in your blogs, on your, on your different web pages, whatever it is. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been Zaxtor99.